Elite architecture, shaping Guyana's landscape, delivering innovative residential, commercial, and industrial projects with excellence and precision. Be amazed of our extensive portfolio and services as we deliver creative and functional designs tailored to your needs. Detailed technical drawings and specifications, realistic 3D images and virtual walkthroughs, accurate plans reflecting the true built conditions, expertise and experience oversight on-site to guarantee project completion. We are Elite Architecture. Vision evolved, spaces revolved. Call us now at 618-9518 or visit our website to schedule your free consultation today.
Or an upcoming. Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Surprise your family today with a nice vanilla-flavored cake made with Maid Marian cake flour. It's perfect for the birthday, anniversary, special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or two of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla-flavored sponge cake, donut-shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the National Milling Company of Guyana.
National Milling Company of Guyana. Dave's West Indian Imports is a wholesaler of all types of seafood with their own processing plant. Dave supplies supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, and bars. Place your orders now on telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. With fresh seafood daily, Dave's offers custom cuts of your choice: snapper, trout, banger, gillback, shrimp, crab, and more. Order today. Dave's, Guyana's largest exporter to the USA.
Craving a meal that's big on flavor but doesn't break the bank? KFC has got you covered with the KFC 3-piece meal deal. Get 3 pieces of chicken, fries, mac and cheese, a biscuit, and a drink, all for just $2,200. It's the perfect deal, available every day. Enjoy your 3-piece meal deal at KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Sean Devers Sports Watch. It's December, it's Tuesday, and it's still in the year 2025, which is running off so very quickly. I want to say Merry Christmas in advance to everyone looking and listening to this program. So I'm Sean Devers, welcome you to another program of the Sean Devers Sports Watch. On this program, we talk about cricket with former Trinidad and West Indies fast bowler Tony Gray and fitness trainer out of the USA, Basil Butcher Jr. This program comes to you with the compliments of Dave's West Indian Import, Nomilco, Builders Lumberyard, Survival Supermarket, KFC, and Elite Architecture. Good night, everyone. In the news tonight, well, we know West Indies beat England 5-2 in the 7 match on the 19 series, with Joshua Dorn getting the only 100. Got 100, he got 80, got 90, scored the most runs in the tournament. And just behind him was Guyanese Van Lang, who picked up some crucial wickets also. I think he got a 4-wicket haul in one of the matches. And he had 3 50s also, including 2 80s. So they're preparing for the World Cup, which is going to start on the 15th of January and head right up to the finals, which is going to be on February 6th, 2 days before my birthday. And the CJ United Super 50, we saw 2 tons, just Jevon Royal 124 and Kimani James 103. Well, Kyle Mayers scored the most runs. He scored 168, and the most wickets went to Joshua Bishops and Mindley. They shared 8 wickets each, and Barbados winning their 8th title with a win over the Red Force in a rain-ruined tournament in Trinidad and Tobago. Guyana getting 4 matches, no results, and 3 complete washouts without a ball being bowled. In the GCB Women's Intercounty Tournament, which continued today, Berbice 73 for 6. They beat Demerara, who were 72 all out at the LBI ground, and Essequibo, who made 51 for 2, beat the Hinterland ladies. They were bowled out for 50 at Lusignan. Well, the final is scheduled between Essequibo and Berbice, and that's going to be on Thursday. Today, we saw some good bowling by the left-arm spinner, Kaieteur Schultz. She had 6 for 30, and of course, the player of the match in the LBI game, Fluffiana Millington, continuing to show that age is just a number. She picked up a 5-wicket haul and then had a 21 not out to get the Barbicians home. In the test match, which started last night, New Zealand were 231 overnight. They didn't add to that score, and they fell for 231 all out. Kane Williamson had a fighting 52, Michael Bracewell 47, and Roach, Searles, Greaves, Ocean Shields all picked up 2 wickets each. And the West Indies, in reply, they lost Campbell for 1 and Atenes for 4. They were 10 for 2 and joined by, well, Chandrapal, who opened the batting. He was joined by our best batsman, arguably, Shai Hope. And after a rough start, Shai Hope and Johnson, Chandrapal have added 50 so far. They're now 66 when I last checked for the loss of the same 2 wickets. So good evening to Basil Butcher. Good evening to you, Tony Gray. Quickly, Basil, what do you think of this women's cricket? The standard is so low. A team being bowled out for 50. Another team making 73 for 6. And they still won. Demerara being bowled out for 72.
Yeah, I've been able to see about 2 or 3 of the games. I saw the game today. Like you said, you made a statement that Kaieteur Schultz bowled well. But that's if you open up the scorebook and just look at this.
Yeah, because she bowled some 2 bounce balls.
Oh, gosh. I mean...
and she had a 5-wicket haul in her previous match.
I saw that 5-wicket haul too, right? Too many bad balls. And the standard of the cricket is really poor.
But
really,
I'm very
really
surprised with Schultz. Schultz played for Guyana. And she should be one of them and on a line and length.
It's a reflection of... I mean, Schultz is a person that played also for the West Indies.
Yes.
Went to many camps over the years, and she has not progressed as a cricketer. So the situation is this: when these players come back to their respective territories, there is no support system for them to continue to develop their game, and that has been the big problem. You can hold as many camps as you want, but the reps is in playing, not camps. You may learn correct things in a camp and so on, but you have to put the reps in for those things to become part of your game. And if you don't play, the only way you get better is the more you play, right? And she's a classical case of a player that has not progressed at all. she is supposed to be cleaning up in this competition in a serious way, i.e. the bowling that she bowls, if she was bowling consistently and so on, they should not be able to score off of her, because I haven't seen any batter on any of the teams that are worthy, not one.
And most of the good players have gone to camp in
Yeah, all of
Antigua.
them in the camp. All
Yeah.
of them are away in the camp.
The only place that has proper cricket for females, and that's not ideal, is Trinidad and Tobago, where Tony comes from. So we're in a doldrum, and we've got to find ways to get out of that. Players have to play, the girls have to play with the boys. There are not enough players to form like 4 teams and so on, except maybe in Trinidad. Let's go now to tonight's match. The bowlers, Tony, bowled very well. Overnight, New Zealand 231 for 9. Greaves wrapped it up without a run scored. So Greaves, Roach, Seals, and OJ Shields, they all got 2 wickets each, and they all bowled well on a pitch that favored the bowlers. The batters, even Kane Williams, who got 52, looked restricted. But now we've lost 2 quick wickets, and Chandra Paul is on 25 and Hope on 33. They've gotten the score up now to 68 for 2. How do you see this match going, Tony Gray?
Well, good evening to you, Sean. Good evening to Basil. Good evening to viewers and listeners. Yes, in an interesting position for the West Indies team to be in, because they did bowl well. I mean, not perfect, but did bowl well on a pitch that was conducive to seam bowling, fast bowling, and conditions in general, because the ball was swinging around too. So it posed some challenges for the New Zealand batsmen, but we did bowl well. It's just to understand, first of all, the value of Kemar Roach. Don't think that he should have been dropped against Australia in the squad. But he showed his value again by being proactive in a professional manner. When he's on the field, we seem to bowl very, very well. And he sets the tone. And, he bowled 17 overs for 2 wickets, 47 runs. So that was excellent by him. Jaden Seals wasn't at his perfect best, but still acquiring 2 wickets. Yuan Lane, tall guy, he's young, he's going to get better, but he needs to be a little bit more consistent, especially with his alignment. And OJ Shields brought up the pace. He looked good at times, so there's a lot to work with. Justin Graves, to me, was the best of the bowlers. He got the important wickets that curtail the New Zealanders, so Justin Graves was excellent. So it's a balanced position for the West Indies team to be in, with 68 for 2 at the lunchtime interval.
Yeah, and we saw Hope looking not to get behind the ball initially, but he started playing some great shots. And Chandra Paul, who bats time, but he's not his father. He's going to get tired mentally if he bats in this manner and gets a small score, like less than 50. He's got to take 100 and something balls. He's got to learn to find the gaps. He played some good cover drives. One went for 4, I think. But this is good to see Tejan Chandra Paul back in the runs. Hope he gets a big score. Hope continues to do what he does consistently. And this is a good chance for the West Indies, even not to win, to draw this match. We're only in the second day, so that's hopefully thinking.
Nobody.
Well, let me just say that I think that Chandra Paul's role, obviously, with his absolutely brilliant temperament, he's a lot like his father in that regard, that he can bat for long periods. He might be limited in his stroke play, but his role, obviously, is to bat for time and try to subdue the pace bowlers, the fast bowlers of the New Zealand team. With batting with Shea Hope is a big difference, because Shea Hope looks to score runs. He has enough shots. He has a problem with the ball coming back in, but he had enough shots to get the scorecard ticking and to alleviate the pressure on the batsman in China Paul. So we have witnessed that China Paul have started to hit the ball to the boundaries, look for a little bit more runs here and there. So that's because Shea Hope is batting with him. But the ball is moving around. It's not going to stop moving through the air and off the pitch because of those wonderful conditions that are really vastly conducive to fast bowling.
Well, good evening to Shahid Bashk. He says good night to everyone. And of course, Troy Christopher Cornelius says good night to everyone. He calls Basil Butcher Boomberam. I wonder what that means. Basil will tell me.
No. It's a Maltino's word, Boomberum.
Yeah, Boomberum. Well, I'm from Maltinos and I've never heard that word.
Well, that I learned that from I have a friend who is an old Maltino stalwart, and it's whom I learned the word from.
Oh, the back in the days players.
Yes. That's before your time.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on with cricket in general. What do you see is needed, Tony, for the improvement? We don't want overnight changes. We want to see incremental improvements and competition, being competitive. And to get that, what would we have to do? And when we look at the other countries, what is the difference with them? The under-19 series, we've beaten England 5-2. And when you look at the age groups tournament, there is lots of talent. But when you get past the age group, that's when the problems start. You have to be mentally strong. You play with the bigger boys, and you get married and all of these things. So it's pressure on your mind. You don't focus as much on cricket. Many of the youth players stop playing and only at the club level. And the pool is smaller now. So there's lots of issues preventing West Indies to getting back to the glory days. Tony, what do you think we need to do?
Well, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to looking at what can be done to bring about a resurgence of West Indies cricket. I mean, you talk about some of the issues there at the under-19 level, for example. There's a lot of stressors and distractions for players. The romanticism of the player, we talk about that, and the identity players at that stage, they're looking for that human identity. So there's a lot to impact, but before that stage, we have to look at the foundation levels. We've not been doing the right things at the foundation level so that we are looking to react to problems when they get up to international cricket. We witness, for example, our players are taking too long to make the transition from regional cricket to international cricket, and that's because we're doing the wrong things, and we have to do the right things. T20 cricket has come into play, and we've seen it worldwide now, the impact in a negative way that it's having on batsmen. India, for example, and it's something that the Indians haven't realized, that the landscape of international cricket has changed so significantly with the coming of the T20 franchise cricket, that the foreign players are getting a lot of experience playing in India, and the Indians are not going outside. T20 cricket has become perhaps more important in some people's eyes than Test match cricket. So the Indians are not staying long at the crease again. They're looking to play their shots because of their natural psyche that has been built around T20 cricket. That's the same thing that has been problematic in Caribbean cricket. So our batsmen are not staying too long at the wicket again. So it's a lot to unpack. We have to look at how we are doing the scouting throughout the Caribbean, because there's a lot of talent there. We've seen in the recent past, in 2016, we won the World Cup at the under-19 level. Before that, we went into the final, with Dinesh Ramdin led against Pakistan. So we have always had that talent. It's what we do to help players to make the transition, and we're doing the wrong things. In schools cricket, guys are playing T20, so it's limiting their concentration levels. So what we used to do to be a hugely dominant sporting team in the landscape of international professional sport, we are not doing again. We're doing the opposite and expecting the right result, which we do not get and would not get if we don't change our mindset.
Yeah,
And obviously, the governance of West Indies cricket has to be a lot more professional. The different boards of the region needs to be professionalized, and people have to be accountable for, being efficient in their different portfolios.
yeah, Basil, we spoke about the importance of school cricket. Not many islands or countries in the region play school cricket to any large extent. And we need to have the best coaches at the grassroots level. That's in my view. Because when you're 15 and 14 and so on, and you got wrong habits, it's hard to break out of when you get to first class level and even test level. We come to test cricket with flaws. Basil, how do you see schools cricket?
Look, it's
And
not
especially for girls.
yeah, it's not just school cricket per se. It's what system that you put in place that the youngsters will go through. Look, Barbados got primary school cricket, secondary school cricket, but they're not producing world class players, right? So we there is a disconnect in terms of what we are inculcating at the formative stages of our players and have a structured pathway that you say these are the boxes as you're moving up the ranks. You got to tick off all these variant boxes. I always talk the story of listening to a 15-year-old Australian female player playing in the Under 19 World Cup, talking about her plans and those kinds of things at the halftime of the game, which some of our first class players could not have such an articulate conversation about their games and their plans, etc., etc. So it tells you that things are being inculcated into these youngsters from an early age, and they're ticking off boxes going along the line. And that's not what we don't have anything like that in place in none of the territories, which is the cricket factories, right? So we can't just say put the school cricket, but what is going to be accompanying those young people in terms of developing their games from there, the school to the club, etc., right? And unfortunately, West Indies cricket in the as we started to do the slide maybe 30 years or so, you could see the cracks, or even more in our cricket. There have never been a fundamental focus on where the problem lies, and which is in the territories. And that horse, if you will, have run out of the barn. And how are we now going to try to see how we could recover to get our cricket foundation back in place? Because that's the problem. Looking at our women's cricket today, looking at our domestic cricket, to me, is not what West Indies would say. For example, what West Indies does in this series against New Zealand is going to tell me our cricket is turning the corner. Is when I look at what's going on at the domestic level, seeing the standards elevating, then I will say our cricket has turned the corner.
Yeah, but in fairness to what Mr. Gray said, but the about the T20 hurting long version cricket, more sponsors now, even at school cricket, that is why T20 is almost played in schools also. They don't want to sponsor long cricket, red ball cricket. They just want to sponsor T20 cricket. It's short, it's attractive, and it's commercially viable. And it gives the sponsors a lot of mileage.
Yeah, that's a challenge, and that's a challenge we have to overcome, right? I remember when my eldest brother was the president of the Barbies board, and he told me that, because when I asked him about 3-day cricket, that used to be the standard for club cricket in Guyana, he said 3-day cricket. He said nobody wants to sponsor 3-day cricket. They're even struggling to find people to sponsor two-day cricket. Everybody just wants to sponsor T20, right? And that's a challenge we have. And it is I think it's how we're going to have to go about selling the game to potential sponsors and the importance of all of those facets, formats, if you will, for our cricket to be a viable force that even more so their investment into our cricket will bring even large dividends down the road.
Tony, when I played at school level, that's the first time I met players like Andy Jackman, Faoud Bacchus, even Roy Fredericks, and Derek Kaieteur. They were not paid by the board like now. The board is paying you academy contracts, retainer contracts, and it would be easier for the former players or the national players to come out and coach at schools. What is happening with Trinidad in terms of school cricket?
Well, as I mentioned, a lot has shifted. The dynamics of schools cricket in Trinidad has shifted. I used to work at the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. That would have been about 22 years ago. And, the specific system that we had from the ministry is that we would go into schools, first of all, and coach, not just primary schools, but secondary schools and going into communities. So there was a process that was in place. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of the schools have T20 cricket. The academics in the primary schools and also secondary schools has taken precedence over, children playing in primary schools and secondary schools. They are inundated with the education or the academical part of things, so they don't get enough time to play. And that's why we've seen a lot of T20 cricket. And it's not doing us, any good. As Basil rightly mentioned, we are developing wrong technical habits, wrong psychological habits, wrong mental habits. And that has been a part of the landscape. We produce in the Caribbean great players that went through the school system, not just the primary school system, secondary school system, and they didn't play any T20 cricket.
No.
So T20 cricket has to be used strategically to encourage, but also used strategically to know what stage to bring in T20 cricket. India, a lot of the Indians don't play white ball cricket at under 17 level. They ban it. The spinners don't play white ball cricket. The under 19s are allowed to play one-day white ball cricket and not T20 cricket because they understand what it does. Sir Andy Roberts told me that when he gave out the prize, when India won a couple of years ago in the Caribbean at the under 19 level, World Cup level. So we had to understand that if we want a certain type of stroke maker, it cannot be just aerial shots, it cannot be 4s and 6s, it has to be a process. And Shea Hope is right at this point in time with Chanapal. They're fighting to go through that process to give us some good scores so that we can eclipse this 231. But it has to be a process-oriented thing from schools, primary schools, secondary schools, and then get into the communities and look for talent and develop talent also, and then bring it to the fore, regional cricket at different age groups levels, and then hopefully the players will make the transition quickly enough and properly enough at the international level.
Well, in Guyana, the former Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan, she's now gone to another ministry. She implemented a 5-point plan for school children in the secondary schools where you have to do a foreign language, you have to do a sport, mostly they would do football or cricket, and you had to do various things. 5 things you had to do as extracurricular activities in addition to your academics. How far that has gone, we are yet to see because this is the sports term and next year is going to be back to studying. So, how do you see? This is a question for both of you. How do we inculcate into the minds of those who writing CXC? They're 16, 15, and so on. Who look at the T20s on the TV and hear the money that the players are getting and prevent them from wanting to play long version cricket? How do we prevent them from inculcating that into their mindset?
I think it's not simple. It's not easy. However, the inculcation is, if you play the longer version of the game, you develop fundamentals that will facilitate you being able to play any format at a high level. You will develop all the fundamental skills necessary, which will allow you to be a better player. So therefore, means if you're a better player and you go and play T20, the chances are you will have a chance to make more money because you could perform at a higher level because you're a better player. But if you just play T20, you're going to miss out in a lot of the fundamental skills that would not be developed just simply playing the T20 game.
What would you say to those players, those students, Tony Gray?
Well, I've had an issue just recently. I'm going through the process of what you call the periodization plan to get players at the University of Trinidad and Tobago, where I work as a coach, ready for the season. All right. So we've had a discussion recently about the true development of players from that age group levels from 17 to 25. And a lot of them say that, they get their development through T20 cricket. I said, well, no. I think the problem is education. And I think that when you're dealing with 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, their parents have to be a part of the whole process. We have to educate people that Lara didn't go through T20 at this early stage. Pollard, who's played T20, because I coach him at an early age group level, primary school and then secondary school. Same thing like Dwayne Bravo and Dinesh Ramdin and these guys. They didn't become good T20 players and iconic figures just playing T20 cricket. In fact, I concentrated on 3-day cricket, not even 50-over cricket, right? So we have to get to the parents, the people with the influence. We have to get to the principals of the different schools and the teachers to have, meetings, strategic meetings, to try and tell them the right way, the right process. So it's really down to education.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good night to Zino Ramlakan. He says good night. And we take a short pause for business calls and then we'll be right back.
Craving a meal that's big on flavor but doesn't break the bank? KFC has got you covered with the KFC 3-piece meal deal. Get 3 pieces of chicken, fries, mac and cheese, a biscuit, and a drink. All for just $2,200. It's the perfect deal, available every day. Enjoy your 3-piece meal deal at KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Attention seafood suppliers, Dave's, the largest purchaser of fresh fish from Guyana, is interested in buying from you. Dave's deeply cares about bolstering the local economy and is looking to begin business with an eager seller of fresh fish and agro products. Dave's needs a constant supply of snapper, butterfish, bangameri, boundary crab, sheriga crab, white-belly shrimp, bon carilo, edo, saijambaji, and more. Contact Dave's West Indian Imports at 21 Middle Street, Vicelas, East Coast, Demerara. Telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. Dave's will purchase.
Surprise your family today with a nice vanilla flavored cake made with Maid Marian cake flour. It's perfect for the birthday, anniversary, special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or 2 of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla flavored sponge cake, donut shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the national milling company of Guyana.
National Milling Company of Guyana.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Shaping Guyana's landscape, delivering innovative residential, commercial, and industrial projects with excellence and precision. Be amazed of our extensive portfolio and services as we deliver creative and functional designs tailored to your needs. Detailed technical drawings and specifications, realistic 3D images and virtual walkthroughs, accurate plans reflecting the true built conditions, expertise and experience oversight on-site to guarantee project completion. We are elite architecture. Vision evolved, spaces revolved. Call us now at 618-9518 or visit our website to schedule your free consultation today.
Yeah, welcome back to the Sean Devers Sports Watch, just about 8:37 on the clock. Next year, we hope to extend this program to at least an hour and a half. Plans are in the making. Let's see how it goes after Christmas. Basil and Tony, we spoke about the importance of school cricket, under 19 cricket, regional cricket. Is it, what are your thoughts on the West Indies Cricket Board? I guess it's just about funding. If they'd had more funds, they would have included those teams. The developmental team is the academy team and also the CCC, which is a combination of colleges and campuses around the Caribbean. What are your thoughts on these two teams not being played even in the Super 50?
The Super 50 for me would probably be the place where I wouldn't have a problem they playing, but not in the first class competition. First class competition already is substandard, and those teams only add to it to even make the standard even less. So I don't want to see either of those teams again in our first class.
No, we're talking about the regional Super 50.
But the 50 over.
Yeah,
the 50
they actually
over,
won a tournament a few years ago.
Yes, I know. Both of them have won the 50 over tournament. That's where I have no problem with them playing, because that's a place you could give them exposure. Even in the 50 over competition, that's a place too you also could have if you have a World Cup, under 19 World Cup upcoming, you could have your under 19 team compete in that 50 over as part of their preparation for the upcoming World Cup. So I have no issue with that. They obviously said they had a funding issue, but the larger question you have to ask, as Tony could tell us, they're playing cricket in Trinidad in the middle of the rainy season. So they spent a lot of money that went down the drain, because even I went back and I looked last year, 15, which is half of the matches, were rain marked. Either they abandoned, no result, or they had to finish on DLS because they were rain affected, right? So this part with the money, we would ask that they spend this money a little smarter because we can't be playing cricket where we're trying to expose guys. Look, as you said earlier, Guyana, I looked at the thing. Guyana played a total of 105 or 8 overs of cricket in 5 matches that they were scheduled to play, right? That's actually, they played 1 match and a little bit in the 5 matches they were scheduled to play because of games being abandoned, no result. And even the one game that was completed by Guyana, it was a DLS.
And even 500 overs were scheduled to be bowled, and only
Yes.
5 was accommodated at the UWI campus. Anthony Gray, what do you think can be done to change that area? Because in the 4-day cricket in April, the same spot caused a delay in play. And you're close to the University of the West Indies in St. Augustus. What would you suggest to be done?
Well, first of all, I don't agree with Basil that the CCC team and the academy team should not be a part of the 4-day landscape. I think that if you look at what's happening internationally, we're competing with teams that have millions of people playing cricket. So we have to widen the pool. If you look at Yuan Lane right now, he's gone through the academy system just recently, and he's playing test match cricket as we speak. So it has worked really well over the years. I mean, some guys, have gone through it, have become international stars, So we have to do our research when we talk about CCC and also the academy team. The more the merrier. And the academy team, for example, it's a team that is focused on specifics. They are institutionalized and they focus on development and that sort of thing. The same thing with CCC team. Players might not be given the opportunity in their national team. So there's something there to work with. In addition to that, a lot of the academically inclined student athletes focus on academics after a while because of the lack of opportunity to pursue both goals, all right, academics and cricket. So we have to be very careful when we make mention. Pertaining to the 50-over tournament, it is logical to surmise that if you are playing during the rainy season and it has been done before, then you're not going to get in a lot of games. It's a crucial part of the development of our regional players for them to make the quicker transition to international cricket. So if we're not playing enough cricket and enough quality cricket, then the transition will be longer. That's why we're seeing guys now. A guy who's 29 years old now has played his first test game, this test game that is going on against New Zealand in OJ Shields. So we are shooting ourselves in the foot all of the times. If we say we don't have enough money and we have to use it strategically and astutely, then it's not playing cricket in Trinidad during the rainy season. It just doesn't make sense. So Guyana, as you mentioned, they played 1.5 games. That's not good enough. How is that going to help our players to develop? So,
and I was looking forward to seeing this youngster, Apple. But I've seen him in Guyana, and he looked quite good in the second ODI, the youth ODI against England. He made 31, but he seems to want to play a lot of shots.
Yeah, I mean that would be a part of the way they think because of the T20 cricket and the exaltation of people or players who play T20 cricket, right? That's the love is coming through that format of the game. So that's what they want to, besides the finances and everything else. So at this stage where he's playing, Apple, for example, is playing big man cricket, he needs to have a lot of the experiences and the different experiences as the game goes on. But if you're playing 1 out of 5 games, then it's not making sense.
All right. Maybe the funding is the real problem here. How we can market the cricket to get the funds? Because in Guyana and Trinidad are the cheapest venues to play. Barbados would be very high, 2-for-1 the US. And of course, Jamaica is out because of the hurricane, Melissa. And you can't play it in the smaller islands because there's not enough grounds suitable for 4 matches or 3 matches being played simultaneously. So how do we get funding? I had Chris Dering on my program a couple of weeks ago, And that's a dilemma for the CWI. How can you do the marketing? How can you get funds?
Well, well, we have to understand the impact of cricket in a general sense. We call it the only unifying force, I would say,
Yeah.
that is the most potent unifying force. But it's much more than that. Over the years, there has been a deep dependency on sport tourism.
Yeah.
If people don't understand that, and tourism in general throughout the Caribbean, because most of our countries depend on it. Trinidad and Tobago now, with the receding oil and gas reserves, will try to diversify the economy, and there will be a dependent on a strong part of tourism, right? So we have to understand, based on what transpired years ago when we had the greatest team in the world, the financial benefits that came because of that greatest team, the iconic figures on that team. We have to understand the people throughout the world came to venues in the Caribbean, spend their money, occupy the hotels to see one man play, so Vivian Richards or Michael Olin or Brian Lara. We have to understand the importance of what, the upward mobility in cricket will do for our economies of the different parts of the Caribbean. So, for example, I don't think that there has been any real deep analysis or research feasibility studies being done on the finances that came into the Caribbean, so that people look at it as just the unifying force. It's not. It's much more than that. And I think that Almighty has blessed us with West Indies cricket, but we have to do the research. And I think that when people realize now, if we have iconic figures of the game, how impactful that will be on the economies, then they will look to sponsor, and then they will look to help with the process, the proper and the profound process of players to get the likes of Lara again, to get the likes of Sir Vivian Richards again, to get the likes of Michael Olin again.
Yes, Basil, now in the past, Guyana was known for its eco-tourism. Now we've got the Minister of Tourism trying to get sporting tourism involved. This began like a few years ago when we had the CPL 4 years in a row, the finals and so on. And it's the biggest party in sports, a carnival of cricket and other activities combined with the cricket. And that does go for the economy also, as Tony said. But how would you like to see other cricket, as I told someone, about a baker in a shop, that if you bake stale bread, you wouldn't have no customers. But if your bread is fresh and nice and high quality, you'd have long lines. And that's it. People don't come to the first class cricket, even the one-day tournaments, they come to CPL for the fun. Some of them don't even know what is cricket, but they come for the lime and the fat. But if you get quality players, then people would come back. Because even me, who's so in love with cricket, it pains me to go in a cricket match and report and commentate on mediocrity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, today now the cricket is being streamed all over the world. So to me, that's an avenue for a sponsor to expose their product, their service, etc. I don't know how much is that being
utilized,
right? So that is one thing. The other thing too, for example, I feel that the territorial boards have done a very poor job in marketing.
Yep.
Because I don't think West Indies Cricket Board should be subsidizing any of these territorial franchises. They supposed to be able to go within their respective territories to whichever avenue, whether it's government, whether it's private industry, and raise the necessary money for the running of their franchise, right? That is what's supposed to happen. So that money the West Indies board is paying there can be used for other things in terms of the development of our cricket at the regional level, etc. Right? So those are some of the things that needs to be looked at strongly, because one of the things that was said why this professional cricket league, the guy who was the creator or the of it, Pybus, he was modeling it on the South African system. But all the South African franchises are funded by private corporations, not by the Cricket South Africa, right? And that's the thing that we have not forced or sensitized the various franchises to go out and, with the help of West Indies Board, to market and get the proper sponsorship funding to fund their cricket, not only at the franchise level, but cricket throughout that territory.
But under the previous administration in Guyana, they tried to have a franchise tournament with about 6 national teams involved. You could go to play, and they paid the players, I think, $5,000 a day, so they earned a little bit of living. But that didn't work out because they were expecting business places to come on board and own the teams.
But you see, my question would be this. In launching that, you should have had the business places in place before the launch of that tournament or league or whatever the case may be. That would have been part of the preparation for that, is that you would have lined up your businesses with each of the teams, not after the fact, and then you're hoping, professional sport, elite sport, you do not deal in hopes in anything. It's based on expectations, right? And how we get you could say expectations, because you have prepared.
Tony, I just came back yesterday from Trinidad and Tobago. Well, Trinidad, where there's club cricket, tape ball cricket, all these teams got fancy uniforms, and the marketing must be very good there for cricket. But I'm still disappointed with the regional tournament. Why is that? Is marketing a problem?
You have the businessmen in Trinidad, for example. They are fanatical about cricket. Wind ball cricket, softball cricket, and T20 cricket. They love it in Trinidad. So they will get sponsors, internal sponsorship. Guys have money in Trinidad to really sponsor different clubs. But when it comes to regional cricket, there has to be a step-by-step process in how you develop players, for example. Just to digress slightly into women's cricket, UTT has a former MOU with Samuel Badre at the San Fernando Tech just recently. I was a part of the committee that formed that MOU with Samuel Badre, the former West Indies spinner. And he's putting up some facilities down at San Fernando Tech, and he has an academy. And also we are introducing women's cricket in UTT now, because we have men's cricket being a process, right, to take the players forward into national and international teams. Hayden Walsh Jr., for example, was a part of the process years ago, 2010. So we're doing that with the women's cricket now, because we need to have West Indies cricket being impacted in a positive way, in a more structured way, internally in the different islands. So we've devised a plan now, and it's been read. It's been part of the budget, the reading of the budget just recently, that we will have women's cricket at UTT. All right, with coaches, with the process of getting rehab, physically development, strength and conditioning. I know Basil will be pleased with that. With them getting proper coaching, professional coaching, them going on workshops, because the university offers all types of workshops. So we're looking to holistically develop young women so that it impacts West Indies cricket in the right way. So it's not only dependent on CWI or the different boards of the region, it has to be a part of other people, other entities that will try to help with the resurgence of West Indies cricket. And I think it's going to be a viable effort between two entities, Samuel Badri's Academy and the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
And we see that CWI has all increased the payment for women's cricket. How is that beneficial to the women, and what was that? How was that influential to motivate more women to come on board? Now they're getting a relatively big salary to play cricket, play it as a job.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that came out of the emergency meeting, and everybody agreed on it, is not just the monies, it's not just the system, but the contents of the system. It is ensuring that people work hard and work specifically to improving their game, because a lot of people will get the money and then relax.
Yeah.
You don't want that. All right, Basil.
Yeah, the money is an important factor, because from this perspective, but it has to be part of a whole program, right? But where the money is important, because say for example, a lot of the players, you would hear complaints, women players, to come to practice, they gotta take public transportation, and if they gotta walk with the kit, they can't take that kit in a minibus. They gotta take a taxi, which is gonna cost more than if they could get on a bus. So them getting this money is a great help, but it has to be part of an overall program, not just upping the money and say you did your job.
And there has to be infrastructural development for women's cricket, because most of the facilities does not accommodate women.
Well, that's true also. As I said, I have said this before, in every territory, there should be a director of women's cricket, because our women's cricket in all the territories need to be built from ground up. And so you want to have a group of people that are focused on that task.
Yes, good evening to Kennard Wilson. He is from Port Kaieteur. Great to hear you watching at the program from Port Kaieteur. Kennard Wilson, Randy Davis is looking at the program also. But
my friend Randy Davis.
yeah, yeah. Closing remarks now, because we're running out of time. We've got like 2 minutes left.
Well, I think that we have reiterated time and time again what is necessary in West Indies cricket. We know, based on our recent experience and the deep experience, what is necessary is the will to implement a lot of these programs, and the people of influence must be a part of the help when it comes to bringing back West Indies cricket the way we want to see it. So it's everybody has to be on board, and it takes a lot of effort to compete with the rest of the world.
Basil?
Look, I'm just gonna repeat. It's like a broken record. We gotta focus at the foundation of our cricket. That foundation, i.e., age group clubs, and the supporting personnel, and it must be from a high performance mindset approach, with transparency and accountability all the way up the ladder.
And each of my sponsors, well, most of them, the new one is Elite Architecture. He was actually looking to fund a trial game in Guyana, but it was too late. The team was already picked. And Milico is funding Rose Hortong, especially all the teams and so on. So their KFC is also into sports. So these companies or businesses You can get them to, but you've got to prepare a good product. This is where we've got to go. I'm hoping, as I said, that next year, bright and early in January, we get a 1.5 hours program. So we'll try to get the program lengthened by half an hour. On behalf of everyone here, Basil, Tony, and our technical man, I'm Sean Dever saying, if you can be good, then be careful.
Bye.
Bye.
Elite architecture, shaping Guyana's landscape, delivering innovative residential, commercial, and industrial projects. Be amazed of our extensive portfolio and services as we deliver creative and functional designs tailored to your needs. Detailed technical drawings and specifications, realistic 3D images and virtual walkthroughs, accurate plans reflecting the true built conditions, expertise and experience oversight on-site to guarantee project completion. We are Elite Architecture. Vision evolved, spaces revolved. Call us now at 618-9518 or visit our website to schedule your free consultation today.
That's big on flavor, but craving a meal that's big on flavor but doesn't break the bank? KFC has got you covered with the KFC 3-piece meal deal. Get 3 pieces of chicken, fries, mac and cheese, a biscuit, and a drink, all for just $2,200. It's the perfect deal, available every day. Enjoy your 3-piece meal deal at KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Dave's West Indian Imports is a wholesaler of all types of seafood with their own processing plant. Dave supplies supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, and bars. Place your orders now on telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. With fresh seafood daily, Dave's offers custom cuts of your choice: snapper, trout, banger, gillback, shrimp, crab, and more. Order today. Dave's, Guyana's largest exporter to the USA.
Surprise your family today with Surprise. Now Milko has done it again. We've listened to you and now available nationwide. Another convenient size packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. It's here. The 5 kg or 11 pounds new packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. Now available at your nearest supermarket.
Now Milko, National Milling Company.